Hey everybody, it's Victor. It's time to another Eden Run, the Binding of Isaac Victor Repentance Plus series. Happy Monday and happy September, everybody. Oh boy, man, what a big week here. It's a new month. We got a new football season approaching, new fantasy football leagues. We got the Mosh Pit League and everything. It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to the fall. I have a feeling this fall is going to be amazing. Here's your meme of the day / screenshot of the day submitted here on the Sinvicta subreddit by Luca Janer. That thread was craziest seed I've ever found. And then in the thread, they said seed Hotel 8, Lima 8, Juliet 6, Charlie Papa. I found 2 random glitch crowns in a basic room on floor 1. The mind is the item room item, and the 2 deals are from a red chest in the curse room. Yeah, that is an insane start, I gotta say. Not only were you starting off with with Brimstone, but then you also find the you find Empty Vessel, and then on top of that, you also have Glitch Crown on the start, and them spawning in the same room like that is really weird. I don't think I've ever seen the same item spawn twice in the same room simultaneously. Yeah, so congratulations, Luca. That is an interesting screenshot. D-Day is going to be 8 X-Ray Lima November Echo Golf Echo Foxtrot. And we're starting off with just a regular old HP upgrade, as well as Minecrafter, or not Minecrafter, but the notched axe. So okay, notched axe at least is going to make it to where we don't have to worry about bombs for tinted rocks or secret rooms or anything like that, and we can of course use it as many times as we want up until the durability just gives out, and then we have to wait for the next floor. And Ghost Baby is just going to provide us with a little bit of extra DPS. Most of the time I kind of go over Ghost Baby, but in this case where we don't have a lot of damage or shot speed, it is going to be kind of nice to have a little bit of extra tears going out towards the target. We can get into the curse room essentially for free here, so we might as well do it. If we take any of these, we die. I don't think that it gives us back that half heart. That half red heart. I don't think. I could be wrong. Because I would love to take Guppy's eye. Get a charge key here. I am not sure enough to take this. I actually don't know. I do not know if it actually works that way. I'm almost sure that we will not get that half red heart back. So out of caution, I'm not going to do that. We also cannot hit these spikes here or get hit by a Mega Troll Bomb, which the game is trying its absolute hardest to kill us immediately on this run. It tried to trick me into taking the Devil Deal, and then it did that crap. So already September, you're off to a not great impression here. We get Yo Listen, which is very big nothing burger of an item, but Navi sometimes it's helpful for pointing out crawl spaces, I guess. Hive Mind would be our second Beelzebub item, which I wouldn't mind getting. Hive Mind's always going to be good. We don't need bombs or anything else right now, so we might as well bomb for a little bit of money. Of course, not enough money because it's just. Well, you think you could tap the donation machine multiple times? Come on now. What's the matter with you? How easy would the game be if we could just take as much money as we had already put in ourselves into our very own donation bank? That's lunacy. Can't have that. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about the Devil Deal. For a split second, I was going to take Guppy's eye and just test it, and then I would undo it no matter what. But that's a little bit too much interference, in my opinion. Too much interjecting with the console, and I don't want to do that. But if you want to try it, then play out the seed and let me know, because that's going to be some valuable intel there. The 2 or 3 here for Beelzebub on floor 1, which is real nice. I would love to have a way to get flying early on. Saw me pull off the trigger there just a little bit. Wow, they're still alive. Thank you, Navi. So yes, Navi. I realize there's a second door. I know. Thank Thank you. We've already opened that room. Thank you. Lost Contact, man, I like Lost Contact, but I don't like it here. Our tears rate is good to start with, but it's not enough for me to consider having to have my shots go toe-to-toe with enemy shots when we don't have enough tears rate to facilitate that. Now, we could take it if we get Brimstone or something like that on floor 2, but we have no idea what we're going to see on floor 2 yet. It's just not how it works. I wish I did. Wish I had that level of insight, and we would have insane runs every single time. Navi is just going to kind of flutter about and do nothing. She doesn't charm. She doesn't deal damage. She really doesn't do much of anything but contribute towards Beelzebub, which is, again, very nice. And it is somewhat nice to have the ability to always know where a crawl space is. We might even be able to get another. We might be able to get another HP upgrade here, which would then make me feel bad because we could have been playing the sack room the entire time, but instead we get the treasure map, which is honestly even better. We don't have to pick up that heart in the secret room because this is just going to heal us 1 heart. We're finally going to head on down, but very, very, very good start here, especially now we have the shot speed upgrade. All we need is a little bit of damage and a tear effect. We're looking good. First of the month, September is usually not one of my favorite months, but I don't know. This year, I'm so ready for winter weather already again that September is like that first step in the right direction towards fall and winter. Does that make sense? I feel like things are right with the world the closer we get to like the holidays and stuff. And I don't know where that comes from other than just I absolutely hate the heat and love cold weather, but not too cold though. It's a common misconception. I don't like it too cold. My wheelhouse is anywhere between 35 and 55 degrees. Anywhere in that area, I'm fine. Anything below 35, I'm not real happy. Anything below 32, I'm unhappy. And anything below 20, I'm real unhappy. This is a trap room ready to ruin our double deal chances here. So we cannot get too close or within super jump range of the trites. You basically just have to stay far away from them and then try to individually bait them, run towards you. This is where learning about the interval attacks of these type of mobs specifically is extremely, extremely valuable. Okay, so we need to get a soul heart out of the shop. Fully upgraded shop, by the way. We can fully skip this room, so we might as well. So notice how I baited that one trite. It was only that one because I was not in range of any other trite except that one. Which is like the most obvious statement ever, but you know what I mean, though. And you have to do that. You have to learn what the distances are for these type of attackers, the ones that are... It's really mostly spiders, the ones that attack in intervals. Like even the little spiders, they move in intervals. They lock on to your target, to your position, and then that's where they just go. And you can learn to manipulate that targeting system through just simply playing and trial and error and stuff. It's not something I can teach. You just sort of instinctively know where that distance is, that limit. Okay, can we stop with the giant trite rooms, please? This is the third one we've had. Just a little. Yeah, and that's a super jump. Super jump from a champion, which moves way faster and travels twice the distance. So notice how I stopped saying anything as soon as I saw that thing moving because I knew that was coming. And that's the kind of stuff that makes me just want to punch this game right in the teeth. They pull that crap. So September, you're already off on the wrong foot here. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, that's funny game. Cracked orb showing us where the ultra secret room is. Not that it matters anymore anyway. Or ever, because we had no way of accessing it. I can and could go back to the secret room to bomb the keeper, and I think I'm just going to go do that. We are not making boss rush in this run. This is only to recover a little bit of that percentage or devil deal, but I would not be counting on us getting a devil deal here. And this is a non-XL floor for floor 2. It's pretty insane. You can also use the notched axe to attack here, as you see me doing against Fruity Plum, Baby Plum, or whichever one it is. I don't know if we had taken shielded tears, whether or not notched axe would actually deflect or even block tears. And we get another basic HP upgrade, no devil deal, and a big middle finger to boot. First, the unknown. There's a library here. And I am very eager and willing to give up the notched axe, because at the end of the day, notched axe is not great. But unfortunately, this ain't it, Chief, because Monster Manual can sometimes be useful, but it's few and far between. So, yeah, 3 HP upgrades in 3 floors is not gonna cut it, game. That's 3 boss items that we could have had any amount of stats with that you chose to just give us HP upgrades instead with. So, and true, we did get a stat upgrade for shot speed. Everyone knows it's the most important stat. Cannot believe this bomb spider is still alive. Do we rely on Mars again? I mean, what kind of runs do you have to have back to back to rely on Mars? Desperate times. This is what happens when the game gives you back to back boss upgrades that are, or back to back boss items that are all HP upgrades. My brain can remember how to use Mars for a second. I kind of brain farted a little bit there. Yeah, we willingly took Mars. Again. Well, the first time we started with it on Friday? Was Friday the Mars run? I think Friday was the Mars run. Humbling Bundle is definitely a go here. And my philosophy with the member card is that if you do not have enough money to get anything out of it, I don't think it's worth potentially eliminating items from your item pool that you can't afford to get. The Chaos card, which is going to be nice. Doing this for money right now. Counterfeit Penny is going to help us out greatly. All right, now if we get a 4th HP upgrade here, game, we're gonna have words. September, you're not making a good impression so far. And we have the Counterfeit Penny. I'm going to take the member card, but I'm not going to enter the shop. Again, if we see a good item, like a high-tier item in here, this level is already pretty much done. We have no way of getting more money. And if there's an item that we want, like Sacred Heart or Archie or anything like that we can't afford, we will not see it for the rest of this run. So it effectively eliminates an item from the item pool if you can't afford it, and it appears in the member shop. Enough of that. Had it up to here with these low-damage Rag Mega runs, and we can get Blood Clot. And Money Equals Power or Little Abba Ding Dong, and this is not great. Not great. We can go into the curse room for free now that we have Mars. I'm sure somebody was probably yelling at, or at least about. You could also swing on the mushrooms. I'm not going to do that. I think we still have half of a soul heart left, but I could be wrong because, well, Curse the Unknown. Money Equals Power makes sense because not only is it an evergreen item, but it's also giving us a stat that we need for once. I know it seems a little foreign at this this juncture here that we are in this run. We get Squeezy, which is going to be a nice Tears upgrade, thankfully. But unfortunately, Tears are not the stat that we need right now. I will take it. It's better than Shot Speed, and it's better than slightly a little bit more damage thanks to Money Equals Power for now, anyway. We need the stats that matter. Even our range is pretty pathetic at 5.77. I don't know. I honestly have no idea what's our strongest attack at this point. I think it might be Mars. Seems like it might be Mars, but definitely worth it for Squeezy. We get 2 Soul Hearts. And for S's and G's, we might as well just see what's in this room here. All right. Curse the Unknown again. As if it's not obvious what type of run that we are in store for today with. Here we are. Get a little bit more damage upgrade there from Money Equals Power. And this reliance on Mars is surprising, but also kind of interesting in a way, because we really have to dig at the bottom of the barrel of what the game is giving us to succeed. And right now, that is in the form of Mars. And look, I'm not hating it. I'm not like it's not like I'm absolutely just miserable doing this type of playstyle. It's just different. It's one that's going to require an adjustment period here. Just give me Maggie's bow, man. At least we can heal double. And we'll buy this, and it's going to be the Ace of Spades. I do want this may seem crazy. But I do actually want Dad's key, or Dad's coin of all things, because thank you for the 3 golden keys game. Crack the Skizzle. I'm sorry, Notch Dax, you did great for us, but Crack the Skizzle was a boss killer. But we actually really need range. Nice. Counterfeit Penny just procced there. Fantastic. This is going to nuke our damage, but we also just got a damage nuker in the form of Crack the Skizzle. And we get a luck upgrade too, which some people will say is a good thing. Some people will also say that it doesn't matter. If you don't think people care about luck upgrades in this game, you should see the comment section whenever I have rock bottom and don't pick up perfection. It's there's a lot of luck rating stands out there. Didn't realize it was such a popular stat. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait for. We're gonna have to wait for Braille to do that. And we nuke him with Crack the Skizzle. We get another luck upgrade. Shout out to the stands out there, and a non-devil deal devil deal. All right. September. September on Twitch. Which would be the greatest website in the world if it simply just did logical things. And when they ban somebody, I wish I could feel the confidence knowing that, oh, this person's banned. Not, well, they're gone for 48 hours. It's like, okay, well, so it's not a ban then. Get rid of all the bad actors on the platform. Look at the ad rates for streamers. Give all streamers industry standard rates instead of having this weird Partner Plus program. Like, make smart decisions. Instead of, oh, yeah, September, great, sounds awesome. You get to have a discount on subs? Boy, howdy, that sounds awesome. Then you read the fine print and see that it's only for new subs and new accounts only that have never subbed to your channel before. It's like, so we're not going to reward the people who have continually given you money every single month and supported their favorite creator. Instead, it's going to try to entice new people to your stream that you also don't recommend to. And we're just hoping that they find you randomly. Gone into great discussions about the Twitch algorithm lately, and it's pretty. You think the YouTube algorithm's bad? I think the worst one that I've been exposed to has been the TikTok algorithm, which would have to be the second worst, I would say. I can't besmirch the YouTube algorithm that much because it is pretty accurate. But that's not saying the bar is not set particularly high. Put it that way in this algorithmic world of ours. Obviously, the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to this week is the return of football. Yeah, we don't have Notch Dax anymore. Emperor card, Wheel of 4chan, and Suicide King, which I obviously would not be taking. Even though we have the Ankh. Book of Revelations, I hate to say it, but in a run like this, HP is not as important as killing bosses is. Yeah, if we do the Book of Revelations, I don't think that we have a better chance at winning than if we just stick with Crack the Skizzle and protect our HP with Mars and hopefully get a little bit more damage. By a little bit, I mean a whole lot, because our tears rate is it's higher than our damage. Not quite double our damage, but it might as well be. Obviously, the Emperor card is going to be our closing pitcher. Okay, that was a new one, Mars. I'm fully caught up on Sakamoto Days, so now I can hang with my friends who have seen the show on an even keel, and I definitely recommend anyone who hasn't seen it. If you have Netflix and you're looking for a great new anime, Sakamoto Days is it. It's legit. I know that it's a little bit weird. It's not on like Crunchyroll or anything like that, or whatever popular anime networks might exist out there. Might be a little bit strange that it's on Netflix, which it is, but the watchability on Netflix, the convenience is top notch. Whether you like the company or not, it's a good experience. And Sakamoto Days is the real deal. There are things that happen in Sakamoto Days that would take other animes like an entire season. You know, in Naruto or Bleach or those type of shonen animes where it sets up like, oh, here's the big bad, and oh, there's a side character showdown with this big bad who's slightly not as bad but kind of as bad, and then it all culminates 8 episodes after they've been introduced, something like that. Sakamoto Days says the hell with that and does it in the same dang episode. It does the setup for this big showdown between 2 characters. It does the setup and then the fight and the conclusion in the same episode, and gives you just as much satisfaction watching it and listening to it than the other traditional shonen episode or animes that exist out there, in a very satisfying way and also very stylized way. The animation is amazing in Sakamoto Days. Without spoiling it, some of the bigger showdowns do last more than 1 episode, but it's never more than 2. Another HP upgrade. Good lord. Game, you are something today. I do have one criticism of the anime, and that is in its storytelling for characters that do not exist or that don't matter. They serve no purpose other than just punching bags for the most part. And for whatever reason, they give these characters, and I mean every single punching bag character, this flashback, the sort of wispy, dreamy land look. You know, when in anime, when it's like a character's reminiscing or they're thinking about their upbringing, that sort of thing. You know, that kind of look where it's like kind of hazy and that sort of thing. They do that for every single side character that exists in the entire show. And it gets very formulaic and downright dumb sometimes. Like, why are we giving this dude a backstory? We just met him this episode. Why do I care? I don't care about his backstory. I really don't. But they do it. Credit to the writers for being consistent, I guess, but it seems a little forced, a little unnecessary. It's like akin to giving a huge, big storyline with backstory and everything to a dark match for a jobber in WWE. You know, it's like, this is a waste of time. No one's going to care whether this character lives, dies, or wins, or whatever. We just met this character. How could we possibly care about this character? So that's my only real gripe when it comes to Sakamoto Days. But other than that, it's a 10/10 anime. I mean, it's fun. It's funny. The main character, Sakamoto, is absolutely everything I like in a main character. He's not loud. He's not annoying. He's not stupid. Even Naruto, like Naruto gets real aggravating to watch sometimes, especially when he goes on his screaming rampages and stuff. And he is also kind of an idiot. Same thing, Ichigo, I would say, comparatively speaking, because Bleach is the only other sort of shonen-esque type anime that I've watched in full. Even Ichigo does stupid things, and it's kind of annoying sometimes. But Sakamoto doesn't do that. And I should mention that Sakamoto is also not considered what would be traditionally known as a shonen, like a young man coming of age sort of type of anime, which I appreciate the change up, because those are very, very predictable. So anyway, Sakamoto Days gets my gold star of approval for animes. And now I have to wait every week to get a new episode, which sucks. I binged all 18 episodes at the time of this recording, and now I have to wait again. Still crabbing, still playing RuneScape. Shout out to Lucky Goose on RuneScape, who gave me a Barrows chest piece and Barrows pants. Not gave it to me, just letting me borrow them while I grind on crab. Because it's very clear to everybody now that I'm simply just going to be crabbing until I'm level 99 strength, HP, attack, and defense. And if you don't think I'm not going to do that, you don't know me. You are sorely mistaken. Once I set my mind to something, I will always just do it. Even if even if it's the not right way to play, even if it doesn't make any sense as a new player, hurts my progress or understanding the game, whatever. I don't care. It's what I want to do. That's just how I've always operated and will continue to operate. That's the thing about it's ironic that I talk about that kind of stuff, but it relates to every game that I've ever played. Whether before I was a YouTuber or even after that. You can look no further than the game you're watching right now. You know, people love to talk trash, they love to make fun of me or criticize me for the way that I play Isaac. Oh, he doesn't take pills. Oh my god, this guy has the most boring safe style ever. I could never play the game like that. And I'm still here doing it. If I cared about that sort of rhetoric, I obviously would have tried to change something. But look, you ain't gonna force me to change. I like what I do and how I do it. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, and I respect that, but I've always done things my way. In fact, the very existence of the Isaac series is because I've always done everything my way. Sulfur really, yeah, I guess it is slightly better than it's slightly better than Crack the Skizzle here, because at least with Sulfur we can use it in more than just the boss room and be accurate. The very existence of the Isaac series was built on a foundation of me not listening to what someone had told me. That somebody was Husky. I've told the story before, but in case you're new here and you don't know, Husky is one of my best friends. He's the whole reason why I even have a YouTube channel and got into YouTube at all. And during the Heroes of the Storm days, I was so fed up with doing solo queue silliness and having to navigate and live in the Heroes of the Storm matchmaking world by myself in full pugs every single day. I was miserable, and I needed a game to play to just have some kind of break from solo queue silliness. And that game was The Binding of Isaac, was the vanilla version of Isaac. Rebirth didn't exist back then. And Husky said very plainly, he said, you cannot keep playing that Isaac game. It's causing people to unsub. It's not YouTube friendly, and it's not good for your channel. He said, you are killing your channel with this game. And my response is the only time I've ever butted heads with Husky, not in a serious, like I'm going to fight you way, but just disagreed with him. I said, I don't care. I need a break from solo queue silliness. I need some kind of, I called it Isaac my vacation game. And the only reason why I even bring it up is just because it shows my track record of just not caring about doing it someone else's way, but doing it on my own way. I certainly care what the audience thinks and says to a certain point. Another HP. I'm not even gonna. We need an HP upgrade. I'm not gonna let you give me another HP upgrade. I'd rather have less HP. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the 6th HP upgrade that we've gotten on this run, and we started with 1. But you look at, you can even look at my World of Warcraft. I would have gone the wrong damn way. Look at my World of Warcraft, quote, career. You know, that was born out of me back in the day in vanilla WoW, and I've been playing WoW since technical alpha. I've been around a while. And this was back in the day where everybody making videos, or even just playing the game in PvP, everybody was either a rogue or a warrior or a mage. And warlocks were always a joke. Paladins were okay, but you don't want to play Ret or Prot. as a paladin in PvP. That's just you're setting yourself up for fail. It was in that era of WoW. Of course, it's not like that anymore, but just to set the stage for you, that's everyone. You were either a rogue, a warrior, or a mage. That was it. If you wanted to do PvP stuff, especially if you're going to try to do PvP content for this new game called World of Warcraft. And I loved my rogue. My rogue was my first ever character, but it's not. And I loved PvPing on him, but it was so cookie cutter and standard that it got boring to me. It's like it gets so easy. It's like, okay, so when this mage does this, I have to do this. I have to make sure that after this cooldown is popped, I got to blow this interrupt, and all that stuff. It just wasn't satisfying for me. So I wanted to do something completely different that not many people were ever doing, and that's, of course, play a protection warrior in PvP, especially a Night Elf one. His name was Lauder. He was my bank alt at the time. And the rest is history. Lauder is the reason why, and those PvP videos is the reason why that the Sinvicta channel and Sinvicta exists. Our 7th HP upgrade. Thank God we have money equals power. That's our only damage up that we've gotten. Yep. No, that's just how I prefer to do things. I do what makes sense to me. And it may not make sense to anybody else, but if I'm okay with my decisions and choices, then who's to say that I'm wrong? Hey, D-Bizzle. I see you. See you out here. Okay, let's calm down there, Lead Pencil. I didn't actually mean to charge that way.
Wheel of Fortune.
Wow. That was a much longer Crack the Sky from Conquest than I remember. Golden Troll Bomb. Let's go back and get this Soul Heart here. But Mars, Mars did great. It's definitely not a traditional item that I would ever really take, but I recognize problem runs when I see it. And the definite giveaway was the game starting us off with more tears than damage, and also the fact that we started off with a regular HP upgrade. That was the clear sign that we were in for a doozy here. And we ended up turning it into a pretty decent run, thanks largely in part to Money Equals Power, Sulfur, and Mars. Rainworm helping us out here a bit, gives us better angles and more mobility to still do damage, but also stay clear of Isaac's shots and the Crack the Sky procs here. Trying to get the burning debuff on Isaac a little bit there, just to give it a little bit of extra damage. So overall, September so far, I don't know. I'd rate this one probably a 5 on the, maybe a 6, based on the fact that we once again were forced to use Mars in a creative way. Notice how I used Mars to charge through the beams there, so I didn't have to wait for him. But it was a good discussion episode. We got to talk about anime, got to talk about all kinds of things. Hey, D-Bizzle, you're not supposed to carry that through to the next floor, and that is a. Thank God we're not dependent on the chest. That's all I gotta say. And we're not gonna have Sulfur, which is a little bit of an oversight on my part, but it's not gonna matter. With Lead Pencil and Mars, I think we'll be okay. Curved Mars up a little bit there. Of course, I've been posting some of me and Coach Krendor's World of Warcraft escapades on the gaming channel. I said, I think yesterday, but I'll say it again. Go check it out. Gaming channel is going to start receiving even more content here, as there's other games that are piquing my interest. I might even start posting, if I haven't already, my Path of Exile 2 grind. With the new season of the Eldritch or whatever, or the Third Edict. Yeah, Third Edict, I think that's the name of it. So go check it out. And also, of course, if you enjoyed this video, everybody, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You all know the routine by now, but in case you didn't, that is the best way to support your favorite creators here on YouTube, including myself. And thank you for each and every one of you who do take the time out to like, comment, and subscribe each and every day. It means a lot. It helps out the channel, and I can't thank you enough for it. So thank you for watching, everyone. Welcome all new patrons as well as we get on to a brand new month. Until next time, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks to patrons of mine like Status Calamitos, Nathan Trumbo, Bradley Schoenhide, and Tim Walker. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of an Isaac episode, check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find over at patreon.com/Invicta.